Hey guys, I'm Shane.
Hello, I'm EJ.
I'm Francis.
Francis Cunningham, EJ Jones from Piper Jones Band. Um, let's get started talking about your history here at the Duck. I know EJ, you've been playing here in many forms,
Since
fashions.
1994.
94. When did we
Yeah,
open? 90?
90. Yeah, and my first concert here was in August of 1994. So 26 years ago.
That's a long time.
It was.
And you had your first Guinness here.
I did have my first Guinness here.
You're of
A,
age
a few.
Guinness.
Well, it was yeah. That's right. My first of age Guinness was here too.
You didn't have one on. Oh, we'll edit that out. Francis, how long have you been playing here?
I've been playing. Started coming to the session here when I was in high school. I was going down the road at HSPVA, and so that would have been 92 or 93 or
Oh,
somewhere
you've been
around
here.
in
You've been
there.
doing that long too.
Yeah,
Oh,
long, long, long time.
y'all are both before me. I've been here forever.
When did you start, Shane?
I don't know, like 98.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a young
Wow.
man.
You were.
We all
You still
were.
are.
Oh yeah, I know. So, anyways, we're gonna ask you some questions. We're gonna get into it. So, do you remember the first and last record that you purchased?
Yeah, well, my first one was Renaissance music. I guess my grandma got it for me, so I didn't buy it, but it was my first
How old were you?
first CD. I was in like middle school. It was called Dance of the Renaissance.
That's
and
what all
then
the kids in middle school were buying.
Well, it became profitable because me and my friend Eden, we formed a Renaissance band and we owned the bar mitzvah scene in Houston. We got hired to play a bar mitzvah, and then friends hired us and their friends hired us, and we just ripped off the CD. We had notated the entire album and we just played that and made a fortune in bar mitzvahs.
Nice. Is that well dried up now? Or are they still having bar mitzvahs during the COVID?
I don't know. There might not all be Renaissance themed anymore.
Zoom mitzvahs? They're not. I don't know. I don't know
Zoom
anything about them.
mitzvahs.
I've never been to one. Know they exist.
Yeah.
EJ? Oh, what was your actually your most recent? What was your
Oh, my most recent album is a Cormac Begley album, and it's fantastic. And it looks like a concertina. I forgot I think it's just called Cormac Begley. He's a fantastic concertina player in Ireland, and he's got this bass one. It shakes the earth when he plays that thing. It's such a good recording.
what format? Digital?
Yeah.
Digital?
No, I ordered a CD from him,
Oh,
and it came from New Zealand, so it took like a month to get it, but still worth it.
good for you. Buying CDs. EJ, your first.
First album, "Momentary Lapse of Reason" by Pink Floyd.
There you go.
Age of 12. And learned all the words to "On the Turning Away," which is I still love that song. I can play it on the bagpipes too. And yeah, when we were in Albuquerque, New Mexico, some guy in a tie-dye shirt came up to the stage and said, "Hey, did y'all do any Pink Floyd?" And I said, "No, we're not gonna do any effing Pink Floyd." And then we played that song, and he loved it. We played a Floyd song. And the last record I bought was by a punk rock singer who turned to folk music, and he plays classical guitar and sings very softly. But he started as a punk rock singer, so it's as intense as you can possibly get, almost whispering and playing classical guitar. And his songwriting is just out of this world. When you hear his songs, you'll be walking down the street, you'll hear some of his lyrics, and you'll just stop and collapse in tears. I mean, his name is John Spillane. He's an Irish songwriter. John
Powerful.
Spillane, amazing
What
songwriter.
band did he play
He
with?
he used
Do
to
you remember?
well when I first saw him, it was 25 years ago, and he played in a band called Nomos, with a concertina player named Niall Vallely, who was partners with the lead singer of Solus.
Okay.
Remember
We had
Karen
all those
Casey?
people.
Yeah, yeah, and John Spillane sang all the songs, and he did some songs in Nomos that I've never seen released. But John Spillane is now a very, very successful songwriter. He's on a big label. I can't remember which one, but he's got all these. You can look him up, John Spillane, Spillane. Amazing songwriter. Yeah.
Was it digital
Yeah.
CD?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Cool. So off that, what was your first concert? What was your first concert you went to, and the first one that I'm going to this? It was my money. It was my choice.
Oh,
Or is it one and the same?
Yeah, those are two different things. Questions, aren't
are.
they?
You know, I got
well,
drugged to Petra. You know, I didn't want to go to see Petra. They were great.
How about Robert
Yeah.
Plant in '93
Yeah.
and the Summit? Does everybody know where the Summit is?
Lakewood Church. Every time somebody says something, I'm like, Lakewood Church.
Yeah.
Were the
Yeah.
girls there?
Were there?
The girls, the dancing girls.
No, not that time. No. There were lots in the audience though.
Yeah, I bet.
Again, you're cooler. Although mine's pretty cool, I think, because it was the Monkees when they were on their 1988 reunion tour. And that's also a grandma story because I had tried to win tickets on the oldie station, like 16th caller or whatever. And of course, I didn't win. And my grandma happened to call right after that, and I was bawling. And she's like, "What happened?" Like, the monkey, I didn't win ticket to the Monkees. And she said, "Paul." And they took us all out to see the Monkees at Astro World.
It was at Astroworld? Yeah.
Yes. Never, ever,
What was that,
ever
Southern
forget
Star
that.
Amphitheater?
Yes, it was fantastic too.
I mean, you got a day at Astroworld and a concert.
Yes, it was
it's
amazing.
Childhood dreams come true.
Yeah. And the first ones I bought tickets for was here. I was coming here all the time.
Do you remember who?
Ah, I can't remember who it was. I pretty much lived here.
Yeah, back in those days, we had like 3 Irish shows a week.
Yeah.
It was
I can't
Wednesdays were
remember who-
nuts.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
Oh man, that was so fun.
Yeah.
Love this place.
So, what were our first jobs? Was your first job, knocking out of the park at bar mitzvahs? Or did you,
Pretty much.
that was your first paying gig?
Yeah, my first paying one, I guess, was a brass quintet from HSPVA. We got hired out to play weddings and church stuff and museum things, and so I've always done music, except for a short time I worked at a bird store that sold bird seed. Other than that, it's always been music.
Always been music.
Mm-hmm.
DJ?
Slave labor for family doesn't count. It has to be.
because I had a lot of that.
Yeah, me too. I
I'm
had
still doing that.
a lot of unair conditioned machine shop summers, down in Pasadena. But my first paid job was at Subway Sandwiches just down the street from here on
Really?
Richmond. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I worked there for a year and a half at the age of 15. And then I worked at House of Pies just down the street
over
as a
here?
waiter. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I
Working
bet.
at House of Pies. They put me in the graveyard shift.
Oh,
And,
God.
oh, it was great. It was such a party.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah, it was like just a melee of a party until about 4 a.m. and then an hour of nothing, and then about 5:30 people would come in on their way to work and they would want things done exactly perfect. And just 2 hours ago, you'd been slinging pancakes everywhere for all the drunk people. It was really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
I've had some good times.
Oh,
that
yeah.
I don't remember too well
Yeah.
there. So, what are we doing during the quarantine? Are we watching Netflix, Hulu, reading,
Yeah, I've been trying to learn to watercolor. That's been fun.
Bob Ross?
No, just
No.
like bats and spiders and and snails and things and
Puppy Dog Tales?
not those yet, but that would be fun to do a study of puppy dog tails and all the positions of wagging maybe. But also watching a lot of Netflix.
What are you watching?
Norsemen most recently. There's a new season out.
Is there really a new
There's
season?
a new season of Norsemen.
Norseman
So
is a very serious documentary on Netflix. It's a historically accurate documentary.
Uh-huh.
It's called Norseman.
Oh, is that the comedy thing? Are y'all?
It's not a comedy.
Yeah.
It's very dry. So, yeah.
I mean, I can't wait to get home and watch it tonight after that.
Yeah, it's a comedy.
Gotta watch it.
Yeah, it's exactly how it happens.
So I guess that's what you're watching too.
Picture this, because when I started watching it, I was like, "Oh, it's about Vikings. I like Vikings. I like documentaries." And then I was like, "What is this?"
I think I watched like the little preamble on it, and then I said, "Well, I'll come back to this one.
You should get back to it.
Maybe I should." I need ideas. So is that what you're watching, EJ? You got something
Yeah.
else?
Yeah, I'm staring
What's
into
that?
space mostly. I'm watching the space,
That's
watching
it.
birds outside, watching leaves growing. What else am I
Plus,
watching?
she put together an entire festival.
Oh yeah,
online.
I was involved with the online of Grandfather Mountain Festival, which is a festival in North Carolina, Highland Games in North
Okay.
Carolina. And we had an online event where everybody contributed videos. So all the different participants made videos, and it actually felt like we all came together and got closer in real life, which was weird because I've never experienced something online actually make you feel closer to people. But I think nowadays we're starting to actually get that, attain that.
Well, I think people are starving for
Yeah.
some sort of contact
Yeah.
with other human
Mhm.
beings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So-
sense of community.
Well, going straight out of that seriousness, we're gonna go into who your celebrity crushes were.
Ooh, besides Davy Jones.
Well, I mean, Davy Jones works. We can go in a couple. That sounds like you got a lot. Let's get it out.
Davy Jones will always be the best
Davy
one.
Jones.
He was so cute with his little English boy hair and that cute little accent. But also, Hugh Jackman's pretty great. He's like Wolverine, and he can sing like that. Whew, that's nice.
You're learning some things, EJ, aren't you?
Yeah.
Davy Jones. How about you?
Mine, an early celebrity crush of mine was Beth Patterson of the Poor Clares. You remember that band, the
That's
Poor
a good
Clares
one.
from New
Poor
Orleans?
Clares.
Poor Clares.
Uh,
She was the bouzouki player. She was blonde and
course.
beautiful. And
Mhm.
when I first saw her, I think I was 16. She was 17. She was playing at the North Texas Irish Festival in a circle of people, and she was just playing the hell out of the bouzouki and smoking a pipe at the same time. And I just thought
I
that
mean,
was
that's
just so bad.
That's hot.
That was it was cool. It was cool. Back then people did that. Yeah, she's an awesome bouzouki player.
We're not that
Yeah.
old, EJ.
She's a really good songwriter and singer too.
Yeah.
Well, that was an attainable celebrity
Not
crush.
at
so-
all. Are you kidding?
No?
me? Not at all attainable. Not for
No,
me. No way.
That's
I didn't
funny.
have the courage to speak to her for about 20 years.
Well, I mean, there's still time.
Yeah. Now we're on speaking terms, but Francis and she are best friends.
You send dirty jokes back and forth all the
Yeah.
time.
Well, there you go. You got any? Yeah, never mind. So let's get to some songwriters
Okay.
I can
as
tell
far
you
as
one, but it's bad.
Don't tell me one. No, don't tell us. I know
Wait a
which one
minute.
you're gonna talk.
No, you don't know which one.
Let's
'cause
hear
I
it.
just
I
learned
do.
it.
they all want to hear a
Don't
joke.
ask.
We do have a
Oh, boy.
studio audience. You want to hear a joke? Let's hear it.
Okay. What did the cannibal do after he dumped his girlfriend?
I don't know.
Wiped his butt.
So, favorite songwriters.
So favorite songwriters, Francis.
Who? EJ, we'll go with you first on this one.
Okay.
Who are some of your favorite songwriters?
Well, I just since I was into folk music a whole lot, I missed a whole lot of pop music, and now I'm kind of discovering it for the first time. Really listening, really like looking at the lyrics while just listening to it, not doing anything else, not treating it in any way as any kind of background music. Jim Croce is just killing me.
It's great.
Killing me. And Gordon Lightfoot. I mean, those are names that everybody knows, of course,
Right.
but I had never really listened to them, because they were just always around. And who else? Who else? Oh, there was another. I mean, yeah, I've gotten into just kind of rediscovering the Beatles and stuff. I know
Okay.
that sounds like a just kind of a
Nah, not really.
pat answer, but it's amazing stuff. Especially Jim Croce, like
Yeah.
that song "I Got a Name" by Jim Croce, which is not written by him. I can't remember who wrote it. Norman Gimbel wrote it. Just an awesome song. But also, Robert Earl Keen is probably my favorite songwriter.
Really?
Yeah, Robert Earl Keen got me into country music. I hated country music until my friend Gregory, the fiddle player in Clandestine, made us because it was his truck. It was his truck and his rules, and so
I
he
could see that.
yeah. So we were listening to Robert Earl Keen a lot in that band, and I got into country music after that because I heard that line where he says, "I don't wear no Stetson, but I'm willing to bet, son, I'm just as big a Texan as you are." And that really spoke to me because
Right.
I don't wear cowboy boots or anything, but I take great pride in living here, being from here. Anyway,
Says the guy that moved
Yeah.
to North Carolina.
that's true. Yeah, yeah. The state
But no,
flag's
Robert Earl
almost
Keen's
identical.
great. I think he's underrated as a songwriter because he's been lumped into that, that Texas where everybody tried to be him. So I think
Mhm.
people got kind of sick of it.
Mhm.
So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I had
I
not
agree with
paid
that.
him much attention because same thing. He was like in that crowd,
Yeah.
and they're all pretty good. But I had not done much special listening until you kind of made me, and I was so
You're
glad.
kind of right in
that
the
you
middle
did.
of that world in Nashville, though. So you get a lot of that.
Yeah, everybody wants to write a song there, be a songwriter.
So who are some of your people?
Well, I've always always been more drawn to the tunes, and I do have a lot of songwriters that I really respect. But the instrumental music is really what's always spoken to me, and some of my favorite. I think I like the tunes so much because you can interpret them however you want to, and I have a hard time listening to words because I'm listening to the bass lines and listening to the harmony lines and the melody lines and how the chords are constructed and everything's stacked on top of each other from one moment to the next. And so the words, I have a hard time paying attention to
Right.
those.
Well,
but-
composer same way. It's it's a songwriter too. So
Yeah. I would say Jimmy Keene, he's an accordion player up in Chicago. His parents are both from Cary, and he's a beautiful accordion player, and his tunes are so pretty. He's got this way with his left hand that is the chord side of the accordion, so beautiful, and his melodies just, oh, they make me cry. I can't listen to him without tearing up. It's embarrassing.
Well, no, it's cool. It's cool that you know somebody that kind of gets that kind of emotion out of you.
Oh,
So we'll go
he's
with
one.
you again on this one, Francis. Did you ever? Was there a song, a moment, something you heard in your life where it's like, I want to do this for the rest of my life? Was it like a one moment or one song or?
Yeah, you know, I can remember. I can remember when that was. It was the first time I ever heard Solus at the North Texas Irish Festival, and John Doyle. You know, he's kind of like you were talking with the songwriters. You know, now every guitar player wants to be John Doyle, but when he does it better than anyone. But when he first came out, I and everyone else had never heard that sound before. His huge bass string and his way with chords and bass lines, and I heard them playing live. I was like, who is that bass player and who is that guitar player? And they were the same guy, and it blew my mind. And that's when it really was just it for me, was hearing that.
That's cool because a lot of people kind of him and haw and kind of get to it later, but you know exactly that moment, huh?
Yeah,
So cool,
it was magic.
nice.
Yeah.
So EJ, I'm imagining you were probably lying in bed when you were 13 and dark night, and you heard two cats fighting outside. I was like, I think I want to recreate that noise. Actually, I'm kind of fascinated to, because if you don't know, EJ is a world class bagpipe player for all of you out there, and people always comment about you. I mean, I don't know much about it, but the bagpipe's that instrument. If you're bad at it, man, it's brutal. But I've always liked it when Bon Scott played it on Long Way to the Top. So, but what kind of drew you? Was there a moment that I just wonder what kind of drew you to this instrument?
When I got into it, it was practically a requirement. So I was doing it for about 3 years and just learning traditional tunes that you would play in a pipe band, and I loved it. But the thing that made me really, really want to do it on the road as a musician on stage, I was gonna say same exact moment as Francis said. When I first heard Solus,
Really?
when I first heard John Doyle and Solus, and I first heard Karen Casey sing the words, "Come to bed with me, my boy, we'll have a roll around the blankets." I just thought that was so sexy, the way she sang that. And I just loved that song. Track 1 of the Solus album.
That's that.
That was
that was the one.
Completely transformative experience for a lot of people. That's what you want a musician to do, is entertain the audience, but also you want them to inspire all the other musicians to play better,
Of course.
to
right.
follow them, and that Solus definitely did that. But before that, the Tannehill Weavers did that to me, because they were one of the early bands to take the bagpipe and amplify a guitar and amplify a fiddle and have everybody playing in the pipes, playing as a member of the band, not just a marching around instrument with drums, but in a band on a stage with songs and
Right.
stuff like that. The Tannehill Weavers did that for me.
Solos and Tannehill
Yeah.
both played here
Yeah,
back in the day.
I remember some of the early Tannehill Weavers shows, and they were just great shows. And the Battlefield Band played
Oh,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Solus
Oh,
played here.
yeah.
The
Kinda
Old
miss-
Blind
I miss
Dogs
some
played
of
here.
that,
All
so.
the greats of Celtic music, and and really some of the touring golden years
Yeah,
were here.
there was a lot of them. It was we
Mhm.
miss it. We all miss it. We talk about it quite
Yeah.
a bit. So you're in a band and you need to put a band around it. What's y'all's dream band? Y'all can collaborate on this one. Who's your drummer? Who's your whatever you want to do? If you want a singer, if you want a bass player, you can just play tambourine for Led Zeppelin if you like. If that's your jam.
I would like an accordion. I know.
I was gonna say I want to be the bagpiper in Jethro Tull.
Ooh, Ooh, that's a good
Ooh,
answer.
can you just stand on one
But
leg?
an accordion's cool. Accordion's cool.
I went Jimmy Keene. I know who drummer too. I played on the Opry for 5 years with the Mike Snyder band, and there's a house drummer for the Opry band named Mark Beckett, and he is such a great drummer. Oh man, he is so good. At my dream band, he would play the drums.
Who's your front man?
Oh, we're the front.
You are the front people?
Yeah, we're the front people.
Of course.
Yeah. Rich Brotherton on guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Jean-Michel Vaillant on flute.
Yes.
EJ's thought about
Oh, I
this.
know. Oh,
He's
yeah.
thought about
Oh,
this.
yeah. Oh,
He
yeah.
just don't want to hurt anybody's feelings because he's such a nice
Yeah.
guy. He don't want to leave
Yeah.
anybody out.
Eden Summer standing on a couple of boxes on fiddle.
Yeah, she'd be our fiddle player for
Yeah.
sure.
It's gonna be like Lyle Lovett's band before
Mhm.
long.
Yeah.
Just have everybody. So, do we have any? Francis, I'm almost afraid to ask you this question. But what are
Yeah.
your guilty pleasures?
Oh. Well, one I can say for sure is a radio show called Free Beer and Hot Wings. They're based out
Is
of
that the one where they eat the real hot wings? Is
Free
that-
Beer and Hot Wings.
Oh.
They they talk about horrible things, but they're nice guys, which is why it's so great. They talk about incredibly stupid things, but they're really nice guys, and they're so funny and so stupid, and I love that show.
Free beer and hot wings, everybody. EJ?
Yes.
Guilty pleasure like
I don't know. Do you have?
show.
Do you like watching Britney Spears' Instagram? Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Is there anything like that? Guilty
Something you don't want to tell people, basically, but
Don't
you're
wanna
gonna tell
people. I'm gonna tell everybody.
all tens of people that are gonna be watching
Um,
this.
Something Francis and I have. We have a rule after the show. We do not look at any of the footage taken. We don't look at YouTube and look for our names on YouTube or Google or anything like that. We don't listen to our music after the show. We don't watch any of the video after the show. We go watch South Park.
Oh,
That's what we do.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'm the worst
I love South Park.
music
Though.
Yeah.
player in the
Yeah,
world.
we learned.
I feel that way about these interviews, though. I don't look at them after I do them.
Yeah.
I'm like mortified
We
up here.
yeah.
You're
Don't
good
do
at
it. Don't do it before you go to bed. Do it in the morning when you've got the rest of the day to kind of recover.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
watch South Park.
Yeah. That's it. What else do we watch? We watch Reno 911.
Oh
That's
yeah.
a guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
Reno,
those are
that's a
good.
great one.
It's a funny show.
Thor Ragnarok,
Oh yeah.
official movie of our band.
Yeah, we have usually, well not usually, often we have a third person, a drummer, whether it's Wolf Loescher, who we love, who plays with us a lot,
Yeah.
or everyone has to watch Thor Ragnarok with us.
Yeah.
Or you don't play with us.
That's right.
So it's one of the requirements to be in your band.
Yes.
That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do when we can all get together in a great big group and have a great big slumber party. Is let's all get together and watch Thor Ragnarok and have a slumber party.
Maybe we can do it here. Maybe we can put a huge screen up
That'd be cool.
and watch Thor.
Bring your sleeping bags.
Yeah, and we'll say,
No.
"Behold."
Mm-mm. No.
You might have the mayor on you.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I'm not gonna act like I haven't.
Best
like
movie
I'm
ever made.
cool. Well, okay.
What's your favorite movie ever?
Yeah.
My favorite movie ever?
Yeah.
Star Wars, the original one.
Uh-huh.
Period.
Yeah, that's
End of
it.
story.
That's it. Yeah, we forgot about that
You
one.
have your
Then
own
Mary
little Lord
Poppins, the
figure.
original.
Mary Poppins. Let's watch that one later.
It's amazing. Don't watch the new one. It's terrible.
Okay.
All right,
I
last
saw
question.
It, yeah, it was kind of disappointing.
Awful. So easy question. Well, this is the question I get hated on by a lot of people. Beatles or Stones?
Beatles.
Beatles. Quick one.
Zeppelin.
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 You have
Yeah.
to say Beatles.
Beatles.
But I do have another, like, okay, so somebody would, so those are both English bands. What about your
Yeah.
American bands? But what two American bands? I was like Johnny Cash or Willie Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything more iconic?
Oh, Johnny Cash versus Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
That
They
would
have like
be
an
very
American
tough.
version. I don't know who
Yeah.
else. We were talking about it. It's like, because always, somebody always asks that Beatles Stones question.
Mhm.
Like, what about us Americans?
Yeah.
It's all about us.
They were just so great, though. Who changed the world in the same
Yeah.
way that they did?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Definitely Beatles, though.
So you
And
are
their
both Beatles.
chord stuff that
Sorry.
they do.
Yeah. Beatles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Of
okay.
Johnny Cash and Willie, though, I'm Willie.
Willie. I'm Johnny.
Yeah.
I once had a nearish brush with Willie Nelson. I had gone into a studio in Nashville to do some stuff for some people on the bouzouki, and it smelled like weed, so strong. And I was like, and they said, "Oh, sorry, Willie was just here." I breathed in his secondhand marijuana smoke.
Well, Francis, you've been a delight tonight. No, just kidding. Thanks, guys. That's
Thanks
all
a
I
lot,
got.
Shane.
That was fun. Thanks.
It was.
Thank
Thank
you.
Francis
you.
Cunningham, E.J. Jones.
Thanks,
Piper Jones
everybody.
Band.
Thank you.
Bye.